Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free. But if you're watching this, you're premium. Forget about it. I today am going to talk about a very funny development that I have learned about on TikTok. The reason there's so many videos about TikTok on this channel is just because it's the new place that online culture is happening the most quickly. It's the place where trends are developing because the barrier is so low to post, and you can really just get a window into people from all kinds of backgrounds. You know, YouTube used to be the place for that back in the day, but now TikTok is the place where things are moving fast. Trends are going up, they're going down, they're changing. And where else are trends going up and down and changing? The fashion world. So I am going to show you a TikTok that started in the fashion world and then spiraled out of control. That specific trend is about the mob wife aesthetic. You've heard of the mob. You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes. Forget about that, you know, that type of stuff. And then the mob wives, what do? They have their fur coats on. I don't know enough about mob wives, so I'm gonna learn today with you.
Clean girl is out, mob wife era is in, okay? Starbucks and black puffers are out. We're wearing vintage furs all winter. All really need to step into our mob wife era. Like, we're already seeing, you know, the cheetah prints, the sparkle, the glitz, the glam, the furs, the big hair.
This is where it started. And as I understand it, there's like a playlist. There's a mob wife playlist here where we can learn all about the mob wife aesthetic. All credit to this creator, Kayla Trivieri, self-described New York City mob wife, talks about fashion, food. She's got a bunch of followers.
Couldn't make this video without referencing our favorite OG mob wives.
I can't say that all of these characters are mob wives. Some of them are Drake. Despite the stuff that I obviously do have in common with Drake, I am not a mob wife. Drake, on the other hand, who knows? Kayla is not the only mob wife talking about the aesthetic from a fashion standpoint. Now, much can be said about and will be said about turning, you know, someone's lived experience into an aesthetic. Some of these are characters from movies. Actually, most of them are characters from movies here. So I don't know how much that is, you know, reflective of reality, but there are other mob wife fashion TikToks. And you'll see where we're going. Stay with me here.
Clean girl is out, mob wife is in. Here's what this means. We're doing messy hair,
This is so fun. Okay, listen, this is obviously not the TikTok algorithm for me, right? A friend of mine sent this to me. And I do love the way they all start. Clean girl is out, mob wife is in. It's like, attention ladies. This is your PSA. Change your entire wardrobe. Go ahead. I'll wait.
We're doing messy hair, we're doing big furs. If your hair isn't perfectly slicked back, that is totally fine. It's an attitude, it's an aura.
Is she avoiding looking into the camera? It's kind of like unnatural that her head has been turned this entire time. One of the things I love about TikTok is that people from various walks of life and professions are all in the same place, weighing in on a lot of the same discourse. You've got firefighters and police officers doing TikToks for some reason. You've got healthcare workers, you've got doctors, experts, you know, whatever. Everybody's on TikTok. And so are mob wives. Since this trend took off, the mob wives have chimed in. They've checked into the discourse and they have something to say.
Y'all do and wear what you want, but mob wife is not a makeup look. It's knowing that the safe in your bedroom with the cash in it is the decoy. It's being better than doctors at CPR and first aid. It's knowing the old Next telephones used to bypass the collect call system at the county jail so you didn't have to pay for it.
So the mob wives have come out with "my culture is not your costume" and are now beefing with the fashion girlies, I guess. I don't feel like I'm allowed to say any of these words. Anonymous Sally, hot take / advice, honest reviews, mom hacks, mom/wife/ author. Apparently also mob wife expert, because she's really putting us on game. She is now the keeper of the gate into mob wifedom. Being a mob wife is knowing that the safe in your bedroom with the cash in it is the decoy. Great idea, actually. I'm gonna steal that. Being a mob wife is being better than doctors at CPR and first aid. That is a lot of work for a mob wife, let me tell you. I didn't know mob wives went to medical school. Being a mob wife means being better at open heart surgery than a doctor, because you can't trust the doctors. They might be from a rival mob. I only know about being a mod wife, which is when you know all of the Discord commands in your head, you can ban someone faster than they can say a slur.
It's knowing the old Next telephones used to bypass the collect call system at the county jail so you didn't have to pay for it. And knowing what that script sounds like in your head. Hello, this is a collect call from an inmate at the X county jail. It's not a clothing look.
Damn, she said if you're not taking collect calls from jail and then bypassing them with Nextel phones, then you're not a real mob wife, okay? Maybe you should stick to the clean girl look.
It's not a clothing look. It's getting letters handwritten from your partner from prison or jail.
The question I have is this from personal experience? Because it does seem that way. But I do like, have you ever received letters from jail? From your mob husband or boyfriend? You can't wear fur. Please. You can't get blinged out and wear a square French tip. You know what I'm saying? Girlies. Also, I'm just going to say it. I feel like if you're on TikTok as a real mob wife, you might be bad at being a mob wife. Because isn't the whole idea that you're like not putting your business out there and you're keeping things hush hush? Wouldn't you want to not disclose that you're involved with the mob? Not that I'm involved with the mob. I don't know anything. I'm just a guy on the internet. I don't even know I've never worn a fur coat or a French tip.
It's knowing that marriage is a cover because you can't be forced to testify against your spouse, and you personally can go get a minimum wage job and you can get health insurance because mobster activities don't give you health insurance. And it can cover the fact that he hasn't paid taxes ever in his entire...
Can it cover that fact? I don't know if getting married covers the fact that you've evaded taxes for your whole life, because I do feel like lots of people who get in trouble for tax fraud were married.
It's knowing that every trip, especially out to dinner, is going to include some random stops in parking lots where you have to play lookout, and being able to scan the room, scan the restaurant, the casino, or while you're driving to know if you got burned or not.
I feel like this is a little bit big of a self-report, right? Like, I don't think you needed to shut the fashion TikTokers up by confessing to the crimes you've done.
It's knowing how many days before probation he has to stop doing what and what he needs to pass.
I feel like that's just having a partner who's had trouble with the law. Some of these things are not mob wife specific, okay?
So, yeah, you know what? I'm not down with it telling people what they can and cannot wear, but I'm just telling you that mob wife aesthetic is actually putting on a costume of decades of women's pain, and I was one of them.
Oh, wow. That was deep. We've had decades and decades of like mob movies, and like those things have been in the public zeitgeist for a long time at this point. I feel like now is a weird time to be upset about it. I don't want to dismiss any of the trauma that this person has experienced, but it is just a little bit, you could just be doing Sopranos cosplay, you know? It's my culture is not your costume for like organized crime, which is super interesting to me. Like I'm fascinated. By the way, not anonymous. If you go by Anonymous Alley, I would expect a lot more anonymity and less you telling us your entire criminal history. But before we get into that, we have a brief word from today's sponsor, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that allows you to manage your subscriptions, lower your bills, create a custom budget, and grow your savings all in one app. Frankly, I have been wanting to cut down on a lot of my subscriptions, but I'm afraid to look for what I may find. But thankfully, Rocket Money can help with that. They safely and securely identify recurring charges and can cancel unwanted subscriptions on your behalf. You can even do this right from the app with just a couple of taps, so you don't even need to call those annoying customer service lines. Rocket Money has helped its customers save an average of $720 a year, which adds up to over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Rocket Money can also help you set up a budget and send you push notifications when you exceed your budget in certain categories, which is a great way to cut spending. So what are you waiting for? Get the tools you need to achieve financial freedom. Head on over to rocketmoney.com/Jarvis Johnson. That's my name, or click the link in the description to start your free trial of Rocket Money today. Thanks again to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Now back to your regularly scheduled me.
I am a former mob wife. So let's talk about it. I'll show you what it looks like.
TikTok has poisoned us in that we feel the need to just admit to things online because there's a chance that we get rewarded in the dopamine rush of virality. I don't know that that's a good thing. I don't know that these things should be shared. Or maybe the statute of limitations is already out on this.
Little white girl saying clean girl is out, mob wife aesthetic is in, crack me up, because let me tell you what that sounds like.
Okay, am I gonna have to say it? Friendly fire in the white community right now. Right, she's an Italian. She's a person of color.
Mob wife aesthetic is in, crack me up, because let me tell you what that sounds like and looks like if you are not the ethnicity that belongs in The Sopranos, because I was that. I was a early 20s mob wife.
I, for one, am just thankful that we have so much representation and diversity these days in television. You got Abbott Elementary, Beef, The Sopranos. These three are the same.
You are not the ethnicity that belongs in The Sopranos, because I was that. I was a early 20s mob wife.
And I was in The Sopranos. Episode 4. I'm right there in the background. My culture is not your prom dress.
My ex-husband was represented by the son of the lawyer who represented Jimmy Hoffa. So if you're not Italian, you look like trashy white girl, drug dealer's wife.
What? Okay. Why are we creating this like hierarchy of crime aesthetics? Oh no. I was a part of the mob. I wasn't a drug dealer's wife. Like what is the difference? My crime was organized, thank you very much. Your crime is an independent startup, all right? My crime was a corporation. It was a Fortune 500 crime syndicate, okay? We were the tippy toppy. You are the bottom rung. My mob husband's workplace was rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, and it was on Fast Company's top 10 places to work in 2024. Okay.
Bleached hair, root to tips. All your clothes are cheap and trashy. They're not real, they're knockoffs.
Why is this photo captioned mob wife friends? Why are they doxing everyone who's involved with their crimes? Crime besties. No one asked to be a part of this. Imagine you're sunbathing next to your pool on a beautiful Sunday morning. Knock at the door. It's the FBI. They burst in and raid your place because they saw you in a mob wife besties photograph on a TikTok page.
It looks like spending Saturday night with your nose to the carpet while the DEA raids your house. And you have no idea why, because he just owns a landscaping company.
Is she a writer? I feel this sounds like a book, which is awesome. Like, good for her. Like, if she says she's an author here, why wouldn't she link to that?
So if you're a white girl, it's not really a vibe.
If you're a white girl, it's not really a vibe. My mom was a mob wife, and girl, she wasn't looking like all the tutorials I've seen. Exactly. I think because they're not trying to co-opt the real life mob aesthetic. They are watching The Sopranos and going, this looks nice. That's what I think is happening. Hang on. I agree. I'm majority Irish with fair skin and auburn hair. The mob wife aesthetic would look ridiculous on me. I'm Irish too. What? Wasn't she just gatekeeping about if you're not the ethnicity of The Sopranos? In these white girls? Am I missing something? She says she's the ethnicity that belongs in The Sopranos, and she was a early 20s mob wife, not the 1920s, but in her 20s. Also just keeps calling these people white girls when I do feel like the call is coming from inside of the house, or the pot is calling the kettle white. My best guess is that she's Italian and Irish, which is great because we love biracial representation.
Our culture is not your costume, okay? Let's talk about it. Clean girl aesthetic is out, mob wife era is in. Do you psyops just refresh your TikTok page and be like, all right, oh shit guys, clean girl aesthetic's out, time to be a mob wife, and you magically all have fur coats appear in your closet?
Whoa, she's like reading my mind. That's the question I was asking as well.
And you guys all just like blindly follow whatever trend the internet tells you to, and I find it extremely bizarre behavior.
Oh my God, wait. Enhance? The faux fur? The square French tips? I think we've got a mob wife on our hands.
Do you know who Big Ange is? Dead ass. Do you know who Big Ange is?
Oh man, there's a whole quiz. I don't know who Big Ange is. I'm not a mob wife. I didn't know who Big Ange was, but it turns out the Big Ange is a real mob wife from also the reality TV show Mob Wives, which I do think is not the biggest hurdle to gatekeeping because you could have just watched the show Mob Wives.
Northeast girlies, we gotta stick together like this over these next few months.
Northeast solidarity. We have to weather the storm that is these clean girls thinking they can take our aesthetic. Whoa, top comment. This is embarrassing for you. It's not too late to delete, girly. 11,000 likes. What is happening right here? All right, so we're about to find out some reasons that we're not allowed to wear fur coats.
If you never been woken up for school by the motherfucking feds looking for your dad, you don't deserve to wear this coat, and you don't deserve to talk about mob wife aesthetics.
So like you're like a mob daughter, so not a mob wife, not to get technical, but a mob child, so to speak.
Oh, the feds never look for your pops? You ain't a mob wife? Get out of here, Brittany.
Get out of here, Brittany. The white on white violence is astounding to me, dude.
One of your cousins has never been to jail. If you don't know a guy named Tony that knows a guy, you can't claim mob wives.
If you don't know a guy named Tony who knows a guy, that like feels like parody. I mean, I'm sure that exists, but I feel like a lot of people know a guy named Tony. The guy I know named Tony is the brother of Eddie Burback, Tony Burback. And he does know a guy. He knows me. I know another guy named Tony, but that guy is too turned.
If you don't have an outstanding table at your favorite Italian restaurant,
if you don't have an outstanding table, if your table is not the finest of wood. No, just kidding. She's saying something else, but I do love the phrasing.
Have an outstanding table at your favorite Italian restaurant. If you don't know a guy who knows a guy at your favorite restaurant, you don't deserve to wear this coat. You don't deserve to claim mob wives.
The mob wife stolen valor that is occurring right now. I've never seen anything like it, but it gets more extreme. It does. It gets more extreme.
You girls kill me with your white granola cracker boyfriends, and you're like, I'm a mob wife.
You kill me with your white granola cracker boyfriends? I have never seen a fair-skinned individual use the word cracker against one of their own kind before, so this is new. This is new for me.
That's my husband. I am a mob wife. Y'all ain't mob wives.
Why are you telling us this? Wait, that's my husband. He's in the mob. Okay? He's done a lot of crimes. Sorry, girlies. Have you exposed your husband for being in the mob on TikTok? Then you can't wear this fur coat.
No such thing, Miss Ma'am. You are a Ritz cracker wife.
So many of these mob wife TikToks have gone mega viral.
Keep saying the mob wife aesthetic is coming back in style. Babes, the mob wife aesthetic never went out of style. Do you know who Carmela Soprano is? Oh, no, you don't.
Wait, why do people keep saying this? Isn't Carmela Soprano from The Sopranos? Like, she's not a real person. Edie Falco is an actress. I don't understand why people are gatekeeping one of the most popular shows of our time. Why do they keep saying, oh, you're not a mob wife unless you've heard of this famous fictional character? You can't wear the sci-fi mob attire. Like big black glasses and long black trench coats. I mean, tell me. Have you ever heard of Neo? Have you heard of Tom Anderson? Didn't think so. Perhaps Blade Runner? No, you haven't. Unless an alien is personally boisted out of your chest, you can't steal my aesthetic. My culture is not your prom dress, all right?
You live under a fucking rock. Go culture yourself and watch it, okay?
This is just an ad for The Sopranos.
What do I think about the whole mob wife Italian aesthetic? First of all, why can't we just say we like Italian fashion and we like furs and we like vintage stuff? Why does it have to be mob related? Do you know what it's like to probably be a real mob wife?
No, but why did you say throw probably in there? It was like she almost said, do you know what it's like to be a mob wife? And then swerved out of the way to go, do you know what it's like to probably hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, be a mob wife?
You live in fear and anxiety all day. You're petrified that the feds are going to come busting down your door, raiding your house, locking up your husband. God forgive me, but your husband's probably fucking cheating on you with a gamad, but you're gonna stay silent because he's paying all the bills and you're living a nice life.
Is this the cultural appropriation issue that we're gonna get riled up about in 2024? Is the mob wife aesthetic? The culture of having the feds bust down your door because you're like doing crimes? That's the culture that we're going to be upset about? Not the like every other culture that we've co-opted for a fashion trend for the past forever.
You have to be loyal to the soil, never crack, literally, or you're dead. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's cute that like a little Miss Mary Poppins is glorifying it being an aesthetic.
Little Miss Mary Poppins. There's always a little white girl dig in there. Brittany, Mary Poppins with your cracker ass boyfriend.
Today I'm going to show you how to dress like a mob wife.
This is the person that I assume they're critiquing when they talk about these.
Outfit that's comprised of entirely black garments. If you can add some leather in there, even better. If you look like you're going to a funeral, you know you're doing it right. Nothing screams golden era of the mob like a jacket that lived in the golden era of the mob. Next,
nothing says golden era of the mob than the things that they wore at that time. Thanks for coming to my TikTok.
And you'll need to add a designer bag, preferably an Italian designer. Activate the mob wife energy and you are ready to go for mob wife winter. Mob
wife winter, that's what we're calling it now? All right, it's time for this video to sleep with the fishes, if you know what I'm saying, because it's over. Forget about it, the video, forget you saw it. Watch The Sopranos.